Mit gas?
Is that this is a sparkling water is like a absolutely European almost invention, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say for sure, but I know for sure. You know what I mean?
It feels to be true, and I'm gonna have to rectify my my love of sparkling water if that's the case.
Do you hate Europe?
You know, for years I thought I was a Republican, and I do sort of think it's just I hated Europe. And so I sort of thought they worked together, or they worked in tandem.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. I felt like nobody was addressing Europe the way the Republicans was. Maybe it's the Palestinian in me, just sort of I almost have a natural disdain for Western Europe in a way that maybe other countries don't.
Do you feel like, when you say the Palestinian in you, do you feel like Israel, do you feel like Israel is kind of Europe?
Yeah, well, beyond that, it's like Europe, the way Palestinians view it, Europe not only gave us Israel, but, I mean, remember, there was the whole mandate thing where it was like Palestine was Britain and Syria belonged to, the French. So it was they were colonizers to us.
Sure.
As much as the Israelis were. But then they eventually left.
Right. And I guess I'm using my information that Israel's allowed in the Eurovision songwriting contest.
Yeah, that's also true.
So that makes me think that they're very European.
If they let us in, we'd smash that shit up. You saw Mohammed Assef?
Yeah, Mohammed Assef would kill it.
By the way, dude, I mean...
they just won't let you in because it's not fair.
It's honestly not fair. Yeah. And it's...
Would they let Michael Jordan play for a European basketball league? I mean, how unfair that would be?
Yeah, it would be incredibly unfair.
In like the Greek league?
I would love it if Palestinians could really update their stereotypes. Like, they're great songwriters.
Most undeniable songwriters in the world.
I saw a thing today, actually. I was like scrolling through my phone, just kind of, going through some of the news sites or whatever. And I saw this headline that came up that it buffered in half. So I read it in two different parts, and it was the first half. I thought it was Palestinians shoot fireworks, and I thought, whoa, this is kind of cool. What's going on? And then the rest of the page loaded, and it said at Israeli police, and I figured this is the only way Palestinians ever shoot fireworks. It's never for fun.
No, it's not a celebration.
It's never a celebration.
Yeah, it's kind of like how the old myth at like East LA and like the hood down here, they said that drug dealers used to shoot off bottle rockets to let other drug dealers know cops were around.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but like there was a lot of communication through fireworks.
I
would imagine that's kind of
true.
what's going on over there in Palestine.
That might be
you
true.
See a Roman candle, to hit the bunker.
Yeah, or Palestinians are just throwing fucking sparklers and shit. I didn't read what kind of fireworks it were.
Yeah.
I'd be over there lighting the snake. The one that turns into a little...
Yeah.
It's a piece of coal.
It does nothing.
It does nothing.
I imagine that the fireworks were met with real bullets, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably they were introduced with real bullets. I imagine the fireworks were retaliation even.
It's funny how they phrase this stuff in the media because it might still be here. I had a headline for Palestine, where it said that it kind of made it sound like they were just two people at conflict.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It said, it's not here, but it said Israelis and Palestinians clash over rising tensions.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know how those tensions could rise any higher.
Yeah, I thought they were at max now.
Yeah. There's nowhere else for those tensions to go.
Yeah, there's certain things where it's like you can't even just say that anymore. Like there has to be like a journalistic rule where you can't just keep saying that.
Right, but it's kind of like, there's no other conflicts where you really would phrase it like that. Like they wouldn't be like Russia and Ukraine clash over rising tensions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not how they would cover that conflict.
Yeah, and
they wouldn't phrase it like that.
To be honest with you, also just saying that they're clashing, it almost to me seems unnecessary at this point.
Yeah.
Once you say Palestinians, Israelis, I don't assume the next word is handshaking or
right.
Celebrate together. I get the clash.
But I feel like a clash implies two parts. Two equal parts coming head to head.
Yeah, well,
it's not that.
There could be a slant in this country.
We wouldn't say a field goal kicker clashes with a football as he kicks it 60 yards through an upright.
Here's the thing. if you ever listen to me and you wonder why is he such a deep down inside, why is he such a pessimist about life? And that's my background. To be on just the one country that everybody has to refer to in order to point out another tragedy.
Yeah. You're the reference point for trauma.
It would be insane if I was optimistic. It would be insane if you ever meet a Palestinian who's like super optimistic.
Just whistling. Is there a lot of whistling in Palestine?
Only if you're celebrating a martyr or some kind of a fun.
Do they whistle like you know how Mexicans whistle different from like white Americans?
Yeah.
Mexicans like, thing.
Yeah.
That cholo chirp. Is there a Palestinian whistle?
Palestinians and I think this is true about every single ethnic group. They all have their own weird sound that they make. It's a lot like bus bus.
What do you have?
I think I would hear a lot of like what's one that I would hear? You know what's funny? I'm just trying to think of like the things that I would hear people do to try to get an animal's attention.
Right, of course.
That's where we would kind of classify this whole thing. A lot of kissy noises, like things that you wouldn't expect Arabs to do. But I guess that's kind of everywhere.
There's a children's book that made me laugh so hard. It was, I forget what it's called, but it spells out how every culture makes animal sounds. Like, you know how we have our standards. I never thought of this until I read this children's book. But like, you know, a pig goes oink.
And you were reading this children's book because why?
I was a preschool teacher.
Oh, you were the preschool teacher.
Yeah, I was reading it to the children.
Let's be honest, dude. You were enjoying it. You were reading it to yourself as well. Yeah.
No, because it was hilarious. Because I wish I could remember, but they're like, you know, in America, a pig goes oink, but in like Poland, it's like yow, like, and they spell it and it has the sounds and like all the different like. You could tell how rural a country is by how freaky the sounds, how accurate it got to the animal.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of, I think in Palestinians got a better donkey noise than I think you would. Like my mom does a donkey noise that actually kind of sounds like a donkey.
Does she hop up on her hands and kick you with her legs?
No, it's pretty. By the way, donkeys are badass animals. People always trash the Democrats for choosing a donkey. Those things are fucking sick, dude.
What is sick about a donkey?
I've gone through YouTube rabbit holes where it's like it's like compilation videos of donkeys protecting farms. Fucking sick, dude.
Oh, they're like possessive?
Like a coyote will come through and it'll just fucking ragdoll it, dude. It'll grab it by the neck and just fucking shake it around.
Oh, so they use their mouths. They don't always have to turn around and fight you from behind?
Nah, that's a vulnerable position. That's
your only move?
Your only move is
I thought that's why they call them asses.
Well,
because they turn around and they fight you with their backside.
It might be it might be exactly why. This is almost like when I think about Turkey the country and Turkey the bird.
Yeah.
I can't imagine which of those came first. Like, do you think we called the donkey the ass first, or do we call our butts the ass first? I can see how you look at a donkey and you kind of then you immediately think about your own ass.
Well, because because they have great asses. Like, remember the horse in Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah.
That horse made me feel weird because they made its ass so juicy.
You know, if you really think about it, all the asses are just a little bit off. You know, they're not too far from one another.
No. But yeah, no, a horse's ass is a little sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we've had this conversation on the podcast before, but I would like to reiterate myself. I have no sexual attraction towards horses. They're too masculine for me. I'm a straight motherfucker. You want me to pick a farm animal? I'm going cow. Beautiful eyelashes.
You find horses masculine? They have like long hair. They have ponytails on their ass.
Every horse I've ever seen could have a tattoo on its arm. You know what I'm saying? And it would look sick and it would look in place.
I like mom with an arrow going through a heart.
There's not a horse. If I said, hey, think about a horse's tricep right now. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they got that buff ass tricep.
They're really jacked.
I fucking can't stand how sexy horses are from a masculine standpoint.
Right. But a donkey's similar.
In terms of their sexiness, yeah, they're pretty masculine too. Although they're a little childish to me. Like if you're attracted to like
their big buck teeth that make them feel a little different.
Yeah, they feel a little flabby. Like if you're attracted to like the adolescent type, then you might find a donkey attractive. Like if you think Seth Rogen is hot, then you probably think a donkey's hot.
Right. But if you think that John Cena is hot,
you think like a horse is hot. Got it. And if you think that like Pamela Anderson is hot, you're on team cow.
Cow? That's what you think is hot? You like cows?
Well, I'm just saying.
Because I know you like Pamela Anderson.
We're talking 6 tits here, dog. How do we get straighter than that?
That's the greatest sales pitch ever.
So
What if I could tell you?
3 times. How many tits do you typically like on a woman? 2? What if I told you I could triple that number?
You ever watch Total Recall? 3 tits? That's nothing. That's 50% of the tits I'm offering you.
Bro, and don't even forget about the milk.
I know.
I mean, it's already kind of sexual that we're drinking it.
It's really weird.
It's fucking bizarre,
It's
dude.
bizarre that we drink cow milk.
We should be drinking. I think we just don't want to accept the reality of milk. It's like, in actuality, think about consuming your own mother's breast milk for 30 years.
Yeah.
It'd be insane. You'd be like, it's a crazy thing to
Yeah,
do.
it would be probably a crime.
It would be a crime.
I would imagine.
I would absolutely be a crime.
Yeah, yeah.
But for some reason, we're like, nah, but it's totally normal to have breast milk from this other thing.
Right, right.
You know?
Man, I can't imagine a mother just like lactating for 30 years.
I
The
know.
milk would go bad, right?
I know it exists, possibly. But if it doesn't, you and I have to really look into starting our own breast milk company.
Right.
Could be
Breast milk farm.
Could be a...
We just have women at stalls hooked up
Yeah.
the pumps.
We already do the pizza farm thing. I think you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
do a conjoining piece of property and you do the breast milk farm.
From what I understand, a mother just milks until you stop drinking it.
Is that true?
I
Well,
don't know.
I'll be around all day taking a hit right in front of her.
So if she keeps milking, I've also been told that if a woman thinks she's pregnant, she'll just start milking.
Is that for... Wow, man. Crazy. Power of the mind, dude.
I know, dude. You can accomplish anything if you set
You
your
really
mind
can,
to it.
dude. That fucking rules super hard.
What if I started manifesting giant tits? And then like 6 months I come in, I just got huge knockers from the power of my mind.
I'm going to start just trying to manifest coming at all times. It
Oh,
feels,
the mindgasm?
Yeah, it feels to me
Sounds
unparalleled.
like an off strip Vegas magician.
Yeah.
Mindgasm.
Like if you couldn't get into Chris Angel shows.
Yeah.
Is his name Chris Angel? Man, that guy, I felt like I felt like it was going to be a bigger part of my life growing up. He had a lot of TV shows when I was
Mind
younger.
Freak.
Mind Freak.
Yeah. Him and who's the other guy?
David Cobb. No, that's not him.
David
David Blaine. David Blaine.
Yeah,
dude.
he kind of had the charisma of Tiger Woods. He was a little boring.
To be completely honest with you, how come maybe I'm just not seeing the wormhole or whatever, but I feel like magic would be bigger on TikTok. It seems like it would make the most sense on TikTok.
I had a friend who was a magician who was pretty popular in TikTok.
Yeah. Isn't he the one who got killed?
Yeah, so I didn't want to say that.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's
just
just you
gonna
said
leave it
I
at that.
had a friend in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
head, Here's the thing about me.
They could have assumed anything. Maybe he fucked my girlfriend.
I don't like secrets between the podcasters and the audience. And I feel like in that moment, we just created a secret between us and them.
I should have said have.
You should no, because then it would have been a bold-faced lie, and then we lose credibility to these people.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they decide to Google the story and they find out all those things and they go, Bryan Ramsey didn't tell us that the guy died in some tragic accident? What a bunch of pieces of shit!
I know.
Then they stop listening to the show.
That's
Then
a
you're like,
scary story. And I don't want to make too light of it, but that man, the friend of mine, got gunned down in front of a house I lived in.
dude, insane.
How crazy is that?
He got gunned down mistakenly, correct?
No, it's just a robbery.
Just a robbery gone wrong. Well, I feel like it's a mistake in that way.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wasn't. I guess what I'm saying is
He wasn't a part of a beef or anything.
there wasn't a beef. There wasn't some kind of a magician, another magician.
No, it wasn't that.
It was a straight, just tragic thing.
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing where he stole some other guy's trick and the other guy
No.
tried to do another trick back at him, but it went wrong.
Right. No. That's because, Tyler loves talking about, Tyler's got 14 movies in his head that he wants to write. Tyler, by the way, is down in San Diego celebrating, how do you say Easter in Spanish?
I think it's just Easter. Yeah.
Is it?
I've never heard.
Easter?
I've lived in California long enough to where if there was a word, I would know it. Like I know Feliz Navidad.
Right. So it's probably Feliz Easter.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, by the way, that the show's been running exceptionally smooth in this episode, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Somehow we've gone without a disaster.
We tried to convince Tyler to let us broadcast from his Easter celebration with his family.
Yeah. He was so like weird about it. Here's the thing about Tyler is sometimes you hit a nerve with him and you don't even realize. He was like, that's very funny, guys, but actually we take Easter pretty seriously.
I don't know. I think he was scared because His family probably would start out fine.
Yeah.
And then I would imagine too many reposado shots would be going down.
Yeah, and then there'd be some beef coming off.
Yeah.
Beef going over the air.
There'd be a Raiders hat and a Chargers jersey.
Yeah.
And then a stabbing.
And that's honestly great pod for us.
I would love it.
I was picturing that the whole time.
Dude, I would have done my Joe Rogan. I would have been doing like a UFC breakdown of the Theo fight.
I was listening to a Joe Rogan breaking down a UFC fight recently. It's like, damn, people forget he actually can do something kind of skillfully. I mean,
elite.
I mean, he's really good at it.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive to listen to.
It's honestly the only thing he's really impressive at.
He's amazing, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about Joe Rogan. He's so amazing. This is why. You know what? I'm not even gonna spend another second talking about Joe Rogan. It's time to let it go.
It's a cool job, though. Like, UFC is a lucky profession to be in where, like, when people try to kill each other for your company, you can't really get, like, fired for what you say in that company. You know what I mean? It's a perfect company to be in.
It's a very good point.
If you're just going to say wild shit all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great gig. He's a talented guy. Tyler is celebrating Easter with the Mexican side of his family, which is really the only side of his family that he seems to be in touch with.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
We're like airing out his.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to have a weird relationship with just airing all of his shit out there.
Yeah, or he's really close to his white side of his family, but he's so Hollywood. He only wants to talk about the Mexican side of his family.
That's a good point. We don't know. But he did say Chula Vista, which gives me a couple of clues.
I don't know what Chula Vista
is. It's like a predominantly Hispanic or Latino part of San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, Southern California has like Beverly Hills and like one neighborhood San Diego, and the rest is all predominantly Hispanic.
Yeah, man, it's really a shame. It's like I'm trying to get more predominantly white communities around Southern California.
Yeah.
Man, has not been easy lately.
There's La Jolla, and then there's that's it, Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of white people. There's Bakersfield.
We're being replaced.
Yeah, that's true. Now you're on that side.
Wasn't that what they were saying at Charlottesville? You will not replace us?
Yeah. I mean, this is why it's to me, what a loser way to think about life, that you're about to be replaced. It's like, dog, you're actually about to retire. That's the beauty thing. You think UBI is going to hit these guys first? You're getting it first, dog.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a lot of people. I can't wait till like I'm just unemployable.
Yeah.
So they'll just like, get the fuck out of here, white devil. Okay. Yeah, I'll go take a nap.
It really does.
I'll get on a hammock.
It legitimately would be so. I mean, I really often think about those first 9 weeks of the pandemic and just kind of getting all that unemployment cash and being like, you know what? I don't need $1 million. I need $2,400 for nothing, and that's it. It's very easy to buy me off.
Oh, dude. I mean, you make it illegal for me to work.
Yeah.
And you give me $2,400 and you let those freeways open up the way they were. I was in paradise.
It is.
I look back fondly.
It's remarkable how poor I am at my age. I'm looking at did you do your taxes? Happy tax day, by the way, everybody. I know you're listening at home, and we're a day late on tax day, but nonetheless, we hope you had a safe. That's kind of our holiday around here. It's one of the only ones we celebrate.
Did you have to declare your PPP loan?
No, you do not have to declare your PPP loan. Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll do my taxes later today.
You're good.
I was kind of ducking and dodging, and
you're good on that one.
This is the lowest amount of money I've ever had on a tax return in my life.
I'm really starting to kind of get into a place where I'm like, I got to improve my situation to where I stop looking at tax refunds as life-changing money. Every tax refund I've ever received has been $1,300. And in my head, I'm like, is this like, should I get an investment property with this? Or
no, an estate.
An estate maybe, or give myself a tit job, or like, should I, this is investable money.
You're driving by houses, you're like, I'll put $1,300 down on this house. My payment will be about $35,000 a month.
It's tough. I mean, and I can just rent out all the room. I've got like a business plan together for $1,300.
I can, it's because I'm in the Army. The first house I decided to buy, I can get with 0% down. Now I'm wondering how far I can push that.
From you mean you want them to give you money? Like you want less than 0%?
No. I'm saying how big of a house can I put 0 down on?
Yeah.
Like, could I get one free month in a mansion? That just foreclose?
Enact
No
squatter.
way.
Well, you get 2 months with squatters' rights.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a bad
I'll
gig.
start a GoFundMe to pay my rent.
You definitely squatted before, right?
Yeah, twice.
And how long did you squat for?
I actually, this is one of the greatest moments of my life was in Oakland, California. I was living at 1935 Linden Street, Oakland, California. And that house was foreclosed on. And Oakland has the best, or maybe in your mind, the worst tenants' rights in all of California, depending on what side of the fence you're on.
Sure.
I know you prefer to be with the landlord, so you kind of take their side, even though you're not there yet.
It's just property owners in the state don't have that. They get shit on, man. It's fucked up.
So there's only 4 or 5 reasons why you can evict somebody legally, and your landlord foreclosing is not a reason for eviction. So what happens is the bank becomes your landlord, and they can't evict you unless they're selling the property to somebody who's moving in. So if they sell it to a property management company,
no dice.
You're still in, and they can't kick you out unless the owner of the house is moving in.
Sure.
The bank is not in the business of being landlords.
I feel like this is what it was like to be hit on by Bryan in 2004. Bryan was this is Bryan at every party talking to a woman. I literally can't even conceive your age.
This was 2011.
11? Okay, that's not too far off. But I totally see you just screaming this at a woman at a party.
No, this was I was dating a lawyer. This is how I found out all this stuff. She told me everything. So
she must have been fucked up, dude.
Why?
I don't know why. It was well, I guess there's people who go and they become lawyers for super lefty.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
assuming
what
it
she
was.
was.
Yeah.
100%.
For some reason, my head was like, was he talking to like an intellectual property attorney? Or? Yeah.
I was dating Kim. It was like Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm Saul, and she's working for some giant law firm.
Yeah.
No, so the Wells Fargo became our landlord, and what we did, we didn't have to pay them. They weren't collecting rent, so we started an escrow account, and we paid rent every month into an escrow account just in case they took us to court and they wanted all that rent back.
Yeah.
So we were what?
Is this easier than just getting a fucking job?
No, I was paying rent. I was still working. No, wait, let's just stick with me.
No, I hear you. I'm going through all of this, and I hear the squatters out there, right?
It was beautiful house.
They're going, hey, it's a great house. It's whatever. It's free rent. But at the end of the day, you're putting in 80 hours. You're clerking at a fucking Supreme Court justice's office.
I essentially have a law degree.
And it's like, dude, just fucking get the job or do whatever,
Yeah.
It seems easier.
The amount of hard ways I've taken,
It seems extra hard, but listen, I'm respecting it.
But it's exciting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You're sitting there and you're hitting the books and you're talking to lawyers and you're trying to go like tit for tat with Wells fucking Fargo. It's kind of fun.
That's how I felt when I was a political consultant, a strategist. Isn't that crazy? I legitimately can earnestly say that I used to be a Republican political strategist.
Dude, I can say that I went to court myself with a bunch of us against Wells Fargo. I also defended myself in court in South Carolina and got charges dropped.
That one is cool.
I got charges dropped.
Your first one, I was like, it's pretty hard to hold that one against Republican strategists, to be honest with you. But getting charges dropped is a fucking sick thing.
Now, to be fair, the judge said it had nothing to do with the show I put on. She just said the charges were trumped up and unreasonable.
Yeah. But
so I could have not showed up and the charges would have got dropped.
Well, I think that
I'm a better lawyer than Ted Bundy, though.
I think that with some of those things, if you didn't show up, it would have automatically gone to favor of the prosecution. Or so I'm told on Law and Order that this is how the court system works.
I'll get back to the rent thing. But 1 second. But when we got arrested in South Carolina and I defended myself in court, there was one kid who was 18 who was still living at home, and his dad made him plead guilty because he said there was no way these charges were getting dropped. And so we got all our charges dropped in front of him, and then he had to go to court after us.
Yeah,
and he had already pled guilty.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the name of the game. It's like you could try to fight this thing, and statistically, you might fucking flip heads that day. You know what I mean?
I know.
But if you give up right away, you give up right away. This is what I was telling Tyler with his DUI charge. I was
talking about his divorce.
and his divorce. I go, plead not guilty to everything, man. Let's draw this thing out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Let's fucking suck on the system.
Yeah, let's get him for every nickel they have.
I won my own court cases, and to me, almost like saying that you have a professional fighting record, where I go like, oh, that's kind of impressive. Like you got some. If you told me you were 1-0 and you're in pro or amateur fighting or whatever, I'd go, oh, that's okay.
Well, I've been arrested several times, never charged with anything.
Yeah,
I'm undefeated.
That's pretty amazing,
dude. The whitest moment of my life. I'm in a court in Athens, Georgia, and it's an arraignment. I'd been arrested for shoplifting. This guy walks in with a stack of manila folders. He yells out all these names. We all stand up. We're all white. He calls us into the hallway, and he goes, all right, you guys have gotten what we call a pretrial intervention. So all you got to do is check in with your PO, and once you complete this parole, it'll have never happened. And all these white kids stood up, walked through the hallway. And like for a second you go, should I say no? But who's that helping? Really? You know what I mean?
It's not your place.
It's not really my place. It was the most uncomfortable experience of my life.
You don't want to make a bunch of enemies either in that moment. You don't want. It's better for you to just move on from that. No, listen, man. I get it. I was thinking about it right now. I don't think I've ever been arrested. And I realized it's because this is how I know I don't have like a POC experience. I just don't. I've basically enjoyed white privilege my entire life, except for when I went to Palestine. Yeah. In fact, that's why I was so enraged in Palestine. Was I walked around being like, no, this is not how you treat white people.
Such an opposite experience for black people, where black people are from here. A lot of them 15 generations
deep here,
don't feel at home. And then you talk to black dudes when they go to Africa, they're like, it was the most relaxed, stress-free experience I've ever had in my life. You, growing up, you're an American, treated great here. You go to where you're from, and it's like boots on your neck.
You know, and it's not so much even that I'll say that I was treated great. I just kind of always knew how to not like get wrapped up in shit. You know, like I never was interested in having. I was never interested in having like my front windows tinted. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are certain decisions that you can make that just sort of get you a little wrapped into it, and I just am fortunate in the way that I don't like child porn. I don't necessarily feel the need to smoke a blunt while I'm driving. There are some people where I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like,
it's nice to hear you say you don't like child porn, because I've been editing our episodes for the last 5 weeks, and I started to wonder with all the jokes you made.
It's the problem with what I realized. I watch too many of those pedophile hunter things. I'm too aware of the problem.
I was belly laughing on the last time I was editing the episode, because I was like, in my head, I go, I guess I don't really know Ramsey. And then I belly laughed because you had made so many hilarious jokes about illegal pornography.
Is this our is this a segment where we reviewed the episode from last week? Remember we were going to do that?
Oh, yeah, we were going to do that.
We were going to be the only podcast to listen to react to our own clip.
But then do we react to...
I'm telling you right now, we absolutely have to do that.
Yeah, we really do.
On the Patreon, we're going to react to our own clip, and we're going to put it up on YouTube. It'll be so funny to see. To see us looking at the screen and then looking at a smaller screen of us.
Should we review the clip where you yell at me?
Yeah, we'll review it on the... listen, if you're not on the Patreon, join the Patreon, because I'll tell you what, there's nothing I love more than declaring a new segment is going to be a permanent fixture and only half doing it once.
I do love that we missed a week and like 3 people deleted their Patreon right away.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Good, let them go.
But then we posted a new one, and a couple came back. I feel like they're very... bipolar.
Do what you got. Everybody follow your heart. Do what you got to do. I don't fucking need any of you.
I do like the second reboot of our podcast. I feel like less cards are getting denied. Have you noticed that?
Maybe everybody, I think they are all experiencing income mobility, which is, when I was looking at some of the data, it suggests that probably, that our...
Well, they say Joe Biden's added about 800,000 jobs to the economy. So I imagine, it seems like everybody's doing great now.
Our listeners are disconnected from the political powers that be. I actually found out that a lot of people on our Patreon were college educated. They were 18 to 24, super hot. It's a pretty powerful Patreon. So if you do end up deciding to join,
if you want to be associated with an upwardly mobile crowd, I would say our Patreon is one of the premier places for up and coming, superstars.
I was taking a look again at some of the data, and thank you guys so much, by the way, because we have our own exclusive app and we have microphones turned on.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's I realized the other day how generous I am with my data. If you have an app and you want me to leave that microphone on, no fucking problem, dude. Y'all allow all cookies. I'll push for all notifications.
I reject every cookie.
Oh, dude.
I'm loving that the United States has turned into Europe. When you go to Europe, it was the first place that allowed you to reject all the cookies.
Yeah. Well, listen, I understand people are going like, I think that I've decided and understood that I've fucked up on the internet for too long to have my data truly that protected.
Yeah.
There was too many years, like between 2011 and 2015. It's like there's too many wild years of me never knowing that my internet was going to matter in any capacity.
Oh, dude, do you know how many bullshit insurance quotes I applied for where it's it's obviously not a real car insurance company where it's $12 a month for the best coverage in the world.
Our podcast inbox is flooded with those.
I know, it's unreal how much we get that. So then you're putting in all your information to get a quote. They're like, we can finalize your quote. We just need your social security number. And if you could go ahead and upload a fingerprint, we'll give you a quote.
Dude, I accidentally I got pressured at 24 Hour Fitness. I joined the gym recently purely to use the sauna. Bryan Vokey move. Bryan Vokey move 100%.
100%.
I'm loving the sauna life, dude.
Dude, it feels like it's so funny because in my mind, I'm like, I feel like this is healthy, right?
You know what's funny is the science says it is healthy, but I like the aspect of really just getting all of the workout benefits, but just sitting the whole time.
Oh, it's the best thing in the world. It's kind of like lazy keto, where it's if I just eat hot dogs and bacon, I just shed weight.
Yeah.
And if I just sit in this sauna, I'm just shedding weight.
I'm thinking about joining it and doing it kind of on sort of a, kind of a league level sauna. I'm sure there's some kind of a club I could go to where it's records for who sat in the most.
Back in the day, there was this heavyweight fight between Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko. And Tyson Fury he says, the night before the spa, I will stop doing the accent. I came into the spa and Vladimir was in the spa too. And he goes, and I had to beat him mentally. Mm-hmm. He goes, so I stayed in the spa and we were in there for an hour and I was just staring at him and Vladimir got up and left and that's when I knew I was going to beat him. And then they bring it up to Vladimir and he goes, oh, I didn't even realize Tyson was in the spa. He had no idea. This guy was living in his head. Now the guy
loser mentality, bro.
That guy won the fight.
Yeah, but people who win shit like that are losers.
It's just hilarious when you're fighting a war against somebody who doesn't even know you exist.
Bro, if you're kind of, I'm sorry, but if you want to fight people professionally, you're kind of a loser. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I disagree 100%.
It's sort of a loser thing to do. Just get punched in the head all day. It's
you hit and don't get hit.
Nah, dude, don't see. It's a loser thing to do.
I've never seen a Palestinian in combat sports. Oh, there's a UFC guy. There's that people like.
How dare you,
Bilal?
Oh, what was that? Is that supposed to be some kind of a fuck? Oh, I'm going to assume all things about Palestinians based on the fact that you don't know any Palestinians in fucking
boxers.
Combat?
Yeah, I've never seen a Palestinian boxer.
What's that mean? You don't think we could fight? You don't think we could box?
I guess you guys wrestle more.
We're a wrestling culture.
Yeah, you are.
No, dude. Whatever we are, it's a waste of time.
We should spar for a Patreon fundraiser, me and you.
I would never stoop so low.
What a smug way to get out of a fight.
I would never stoop so low. How low do you think of how low of integrity? There's, you know what? It's fine. Okay.
I'll whoop your ass, dude.
Maybe you will. I'm a pacifist.
You're putting a daisy in the National Guard guy's rifle,
dude. This is why you probably have noticed a lot of chicks are super into me.
I have noticed that
they like the pacifist guy.
The what?
The pacifist guy.
That's what they're into.
That he's just fucking there. And he's just
I know when girls, one thing they like is to feel unprotected.
Yeah,
when they're walking down the street
these days. They love it.
They love it.
They hate it when you're when you're like a protective dude. And it's kind of, I'm like, I get it, man.
Oh my God.
Okay. Before we get started on today's show, which I'm excited to do, by the way, I have one story that I'd like to talk about. I want to remind people that we do have a Patreon, by the way, patreon.com/WHotW. Follow us on all social media platforms, please. I don't like how there are people who listen to the show and just don't follow the shit.
I know.
It seems like a weird use of your time to half be into something.
You know who I hate more is the people who like every single thing we put on social media, but don't go over to the show.
Yeah, it seems like a wild thing. It's a crazy thing.
You fuckers. You like us. What, you only want 30 seconds of us? Could you give us 20 minutes of your time?
I'll take 5 minutes of everybody's time. We should do that would be so sick if our shtick was we do a 5-minute podcast.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah, that's probably
The Monday Morning Minute or some shit like that.
I'm listening to this book about this guy. You know who Peter Thiel is?
No.
Peter Thiel's founder of PayPal. One of these kind of.
Oh yes.
I love listening. Sometimes I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately, and I love listening to like super autistic guys talk about humanity. I don't know what that says about me.
Because there's like a detachment that allows.
There's a detachment that I find kind of, but he talks about, I was reading this book or listening to this book where he's talking about, I don't know, businesses or whatever. And basically every principle that he gave for like how to be a successful business, antithetical completely to every aspect of the comedy world. You know what I mean?
Like you gotta
don't go places where there are competition. It's like, well then it's like don't these kind of, and you're just sort of like, it's so funny how anti-business comedy is.
I know. I went to a birthday party last night just because there was competition there.
Yeah,
I had to show face.
What a horrible.
I had to show face. I had to say happy birthday to my enemies, and then I left. It felt like a mob thing, where you go up and you pay your respects and then you leave. It felt like I should have given an envelope full of cash to somebody, grabbed her by the face.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? I don't want to dwell too much into this, but that was just a thought I had. I forgot to say, I was thinking about, and I wrote this down on my notes as well, the tax return thing. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it seem kind of fucked up that they give you your tax dollars back, but because the whole thing is that they hold your taxes, right? Mm-hmm. So they hold my taxes from 2021, but then they're paying me my refund back in 2022 dollars. Doesn't that seem fucked up? Doesn't it seem like the money that they would have been holding on 2021 would now be worth more money? Do you know what I'm saying?
So, well, what, you would get like $3 more on your tax return? How much more would you get?
Yeah, you'd probably get like $10 more. Yeah. I wrote that down. I was like, that's worth. And I was like going to tweet that, and I was like, there are some things that I'm going to that I will go to tweet sometimes, and I'll go, if you tweet this, people will think you're insane. So you should go say that on your podcast.
Now, if you're talking about the year before the Treaty of Versailles and the year after the Treaty of Versailles,
yeah,
now you're talking about an inflation that is substantial, where it would be worth something.
It feels like that though right now. It does.
It feels like we're primed for a Hitler. We're like, our economy is so fucked.
Whenever I'm at a place and I'm just like, damn, it's like $15 for like a side of guacamole. What a fucking...
dude, I went to Pat and Lorraine's, the diner in Eagle Rock. You been there?
Yeah.
The one where Reservoir Dogs was filmed, where they do the whole tip scene in Reservoir Dogs. I'm opening up the menu. It's just a diner. It's like a diner. They have like fucking Route 66 Marilyn Monroe posters everywhere. It's like the wood is old. There's like cigarette stained ceilings. That's how old this place is. People are smoking in there. And they're like 2 eggs, toast, and a piece of bacon, $18. And you're like,
that's about what everything feels like it costs.
Lord. Like, what the fuck happened?
Everything legitimately feels like it costs $18 now. Whenever I go, I'm like, if I'm leaving my house in any capacity, I expect at the very minimum $18.
I know. So that's why we're upping our Patreon.
Well, now we should say it's coming soon. Now you're good, but
$5 to less than a fucking gallon of gas.
Yeah.
You get 4 episodes.
It's bad. See, we got to be adjusting exactly with gas.
Yes.
Because it seems like now we're getting ripped off.
Or national average.
Yeah, now it feels like we're getting ripped off.
I know. You get 4 hours for a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
Not even. 3/4 of a gallon of gas. You get 4 hours of material.
How did it feel by the way that you went viral on TikTok? I was flipping through TikTok and I'm like, who's who's this hobo who just got 500,000 views or whatever?
I got to tell you something. I don't know if you can relate to this, but when people are liking you, it feels just like you're getting canceled still.
It does feel incredibly the same. And by the way, that the whole cancel thing like doesn't really mean anything in any capacity.
It's just one word to encompass a feeling.
I know you feel that way. I almost want to say it preemptively because I just don't even give a fuck anymore. You know,
I'm just talking about the psychology,
but the feeling of kind of you're uncomfortable while it's happening. You're like, I kind of want everybody to just
leave me alone. It's kind of like it's such an unsuccessful attitude. But you post something up and people are like, there's like no negative comments in it. It's like all positive. It's 50,000 likes. It's 500,000 views, and I'm like,
super
just
uncomfortable.
fucking leave me alone.
Yeah,
just shut up. Yeah. And leave me alone. I wanted to turn comments off. There wasn't one negative comment.
Yeah.
And then like you start scrolling around for the one guy just to validate the way you feel.
Look, when TikTok created this technology that, by the way, just lets peasants feel like that. You know,
that's the drug. That's why I don't buy it. Like I'm like, I need 2 or 3 to let me know that there's any quality being put out, because I feel like they give everybody an ace every now and then.
It's
and that keeps you coming back.
The drug is fucking wild, dude. You can't even. I can't even describe. By the way, there's also a weird come down. I swear to God, if you do something like that and you get like 2 million views or whatever, and you know, because you spend so much time trying to put fucking all this shit out there, and you get that hit, dude. It's like there's a come down, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I'm past all that. It's been over a week.
Oh, has it been over a week?
Yeah.
So infrequently I check TikTok. I just have no respect for it.
I have no respect for it either. It doesn't fuck with me like Instagram. Like I get if I get like a quarter of the views on Instagram, I get fired up. Instagram hits my dopamine receptors more.
Dude, how awesome is the Worst Hour podcast Instagram Explorer feed? I was looking at there's no way to go through your whatever's on your Explore feed
is what you're looking at.
But not only that, if I see anybody's Explore feed, to me they seem like a pervert, regardless of what's on there.
Yeah, even if it's just slow motion food getting cut in half.
It's sexual, their love for it, and that's what Instagram is reflecting. If it's dogs, I'm like, the way you feel about dogs is how some people like are. That's what like energizes their sexuality. Like it's just there's just something perverted about it, and ours is pretty perverted.
It's just tits,
only tits.
It's just a wall of tits,
and we don't know who's doing that, or because we're both
Tyler.
It's got to be Tyler.
It's got to be Tyler.
Yeah, but Tyler's first of all, Tyler is the producer with the least responsibilities on the planet.
But that would be the one effect he would have on this. He'd probably be like Casaba, or something.
We should bait. We should bait him into managing our social media for a week, and then what we could do is just kind of see what he does to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it turns to a bunch of Chippendale dancers?
Or it's just going to be all like leftist Twitch streamers.
Tyler, he's not here right now.
Yeah, we can have this conversation.
Want to have this conversation?
Yeah, we can have this conversation.
We want to make you the listener privy, by the way, to something really kind of serious that's going on in our
behind
lives.
the curtains, if you will.
You know, and this happens every once in a while where you have to kind of, I guess, intervene. And that's why it's called an intervention with a friend that you see destroying their lives. And Tyler seems to be destroying his life with just mom entertainment news.
Tyler is essentially Anderson Cooper at this point.
Tyler will always send us just HLN articles. Articles that everybody's mother should... Yeah, but they're like center left. They're like corporate articles.
Yeah, it's like Starbucks is pumping an article about how like somebody was racist at a coffee bean and tea leaf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
It's like you're eating right out of somebody's hand.
Tyler is the one guy who's subscribed to CNN Plus. Have you seen that? Yes. Digital package CNN Plus?
Yeah, I heard that I don't know if I saw this right, but I think I saw that they put like $70 million in it or something, and it has under 100,000 subscribers.
It's actually maybe even worse. It honestly might be 10,000.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, 10 or 11K. Yeah.
It's like absurdly low. but
Is-
Tyler's probably 5,000 of those.
He's definitely one of them. He's just watching like, he's the opposite of the CRT panic.
Yeah.
He's whatever that is. I don't even know what racism. I don't know what he's.
How do we intervene with such a kid? You know what I mean? Do we step into his life? Do we tell him, hey, man, we think you're watching a little bit too much CNN. Like, maybe you got to be spending less time in elevators or I don't know why you're.
Airports?
Yeah.
Where are you?
You got to stop hanging out in Chili's so frequently.
Yeah, maybe we should show him our recommendation wall for TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and just be like, hey, spend some time with this stuff right here.
Yeah.
Just look at these titties and stop watching CNN. Yeah, like you won't believe, like Tucker Carlson goes on racist rant. And you're like, why are you sending me this?
I'm looking forward to getting a text from Tyler in a week and a half where he's like, hey, guys.
I'm going to beat the shit out of both of you. ...
Just listen to the episode. ...
He's going to send us a video. Podcasters go on vicious anti-CNN rant.
Yeah. So fucking
we need to help him. He needs to, I don't know, but I guess it's better than hearing about that one guy. The guy he's obsessed with. I always forget his name.
Yeah. Hassan Piker.
Oh, yeah. I always want to call him Hassan Minaj.
No, that's a different guy. That's a really successful guy. I was on the road last year and I went to one of his shows. He's like the Muslim. I don't even know. Almost Kevin Hart, like Indian.
Oh, Hassan Minaj is a comedian.
He's a comedian. He's the guy who was on the Daily Show.
The Bay Area guy. Yeah.
But you couldn't fathom how famous he is. It would blow you away.
Really?
He's famous the way international comics are famous. Like I went and hung out with him out at a 5:30. By the way, that's how you know it's a Muslim show. 5:30 p.m. show.
In between prayers.
Yeah, well, it's the only time we could catch. It's true. I think he really scheduled it that way.
In between prayers, yeah.
And he's a I think I don't think he's doing anything.
Is he practicing?
He's practicing.
Okay.
I think I kind of respect the guy. Here's why. I think he may have been pulled not towards the dark side, but I think like as he was kind of going up, there was a little sway to push him away from Islam, and he just went, you know what? I would rather than just being in the middle, I'll just commit to Islam fully. And I think he just stayed in that Muslim world and just did it.
Wow. I'm sure that's working well for him. It sounds like it is.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
He had the Patriot Act for the people listening at home, right?
Yeah.
That was his show on Netflix?
Yeah.
The Patriot Act.
Yeah.
I tried to do a writer's packet for it. I never felt so stupid in my life.
There's a lot of more Muslim Indians, which is why it fucking.
Oh, he's Indian.
This is why I'm doomed, because the Muslim Indian, like, there's 300 million Muslim Indians, like. They're the minority of 1 billion people. Yeah. So if you get their minority is more than the entire population of the United States.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Indian Muslim people out there.
But why does that mean you're doomed? What does that have to do with you?
Well, I think there's an automatic appeal to like your immediate people.
Oh, got you. You couldn't reach those 300 million people.
Yeah, it's different. It's like if you go, hey, I'm a Muslim, it's one thing. But if you go, hey, I'm a Muslim Indian, and you're a Muslim Indian, it connects differently.
Sure.
There's
Yeah.
They both, to be honest with you, we look down on both of them as an Arab Muslim. It's not something that I was proud of, but it's an ethnocentric religion.
Sure. They all are.
All religions are ethnocentric, and Islam is incredibly ethnocentric towards the Arab people.
I got to tell you, as a Catholic, I find Protestants disgusting.
You must.
I really do. I just think they're like they're kooky redneck hillbillies. That's how I think of Protestants.
Isn't it like isn't there honestly like a part of you that every single time like you have to stop yourself from having those feelings?
Yeah, I just don't take them seriously. Like when I'm like, oh, you're a Presbyterian?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Fucking kook.
I take mine very seriously.
Yeah.
When I meet a Shiite, I will fight him. If you're a Shiite and you listen to the show and you want to try to meet and greet me,
yeah,
I hope you brought your sword with you, bitch. I hope you brought your fucking sword with you. Hope you brought your whips and your guns and whatever kind of other hilarious Broadway weapons you want to use against me.
Yeah, dude. I found myself like defending Catholicism. I never bought into it, but when I moved to Georgia and people started calling us like polytheistic because we have saints, and that we pray to the saints and stuff, and they were acting like we're some kind of weird like version of Christianity, And I'm like, bitch, no, we are Christianity.
Yeah.
We were the first ones.
It doesn't.
You guys came after.
You're the weird one.
So whatever you're doing is fucking wrong and weird. We did it first. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I agree with you fully.
I was losing my mind.
I think the monotheistic religion's got to have a little polytheism in it. It's for me to be into it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's nice to have a variation of people you can pray to.
Islam has like a weird relationship with the polytheistic things. Like, you know where they all go to Mecca? Mm-hmm. There's a stone in Mecca. It's almost like the same way Easter. Hey, it's Happy Easter, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, dude. We usually talk more about my religious holiday. Today's the big one for you guys.
It's a big one, yeah. It's probably the biggest.
This is bigger than his birthday? I would argue his birthday is bigger.
This one is, even though everybody loves to talk about the bunnies and the basket and the chocolate, this one is this is like a real religious thing because, you go on Fat Tuesday, it's the end of Lent. Lent is over now.
Yeah.
And there's a big buildup. You had ashes on your forehead, then you had 40 days of sacrifice, fasting, and then this is the big end to it, and Jesus rose again today. So his birthday is not as big of a deal.
You're right about that, and I understand it even from the aspect of everybody's born. We all are born, so it's like whatever. I mean, it's cool that Jesus was born, but the part where he sold us is the part where he came back,
right? Exactly.
After the crucifixion.
Plus, whatever you gave up for 40 days, you can start again.
Dude, Jesus must have been so nervous right before he came back. Like, oh God, I hope this goes well.
I know.
Oh God.
But do you think he looked in the mirror and was like, "You are worthy. You can do this."
I mean, listen,
You're a star, baby.
If he was in fact Jewish, he was, oh God, I hope this is going to work out. Oh God, I just know I'm going to try to get that tomb over a rock, but I'm not going to be able to move it. It's going to be so heavy.
Nobody's going to want to see me. Nobody wants to know me.
You guys probably didn't even notice, but I was gone for 3 days. I was actually killed.
Yeah, it's probably the best days of your life. Self-deprecating.
It was awful. And he's very neurotic. They put the nails in my hands, and oh God, I was exhausted.
He's just shaking his hands. I don't know if you saw what they did. It's
I need some. If anybody has any ointment for my, I was doing the crown of thorns thing. That was the other thing that made me do.
If you had some ointment, I would take it. I mean, I did die for your sins, but if you don't have any ointment, that's okay. I mean, it's not like I can't handle it. You saw what they did. They were whipping me, putting nails in my hands. If you had a coffee, I would take a coffee, but if it's too much trouble,
oh, dude.
I mean, I'm just over here dying for all of you, but that's no big deal. I don't do it for the credit.
I love dude. I want New York Jewish Jesus. Yeah. We talk white, we talk black.
Yeah.
I want New York Jewish Jesus. Way better than, because they're trying to say Israeli Jewish. No, way,
no. We want his stomach hurts.
Yeah. I'm so thin.
Yeah. He did a lot of guilt trip,
Yeah.
I died for your sins. Not that that's a big deal.
Yeah. What's the, does your family, do you guys do a thing where I've seen Seventh Heaven a lot when I was growing up. And I know it's a different thing. They're specifically the kind of Christians you were just trashing. But there was a lot of like, hey, it's Easter, so we're hiding eggs all over the place and kids are coming over. Is that kind of what's going on with your family
there
now?
was an Easter egg hunt. It was back home. I'm like the lone wolf of here on the West Coast.
Yeah. You're out here being all godless and shit.
Yeah, I'm decadent homosexual.
I'm sure here in LA they do different. They probably fill the eggs with condoms and Plan B and directions to Planned Parenthood. And
the hormones that are the opposite of what your body... Which egg is that? Does that have estrogen or testosterone in it?
This candy does have needles in it. And they're hormone injection. It's hormone injection therapy.
Yeah, so my family did a little Easter egg hunt. Yeah, they all went to church except my dad. He doesn't do that.
I went to a couple of Easter hangouts when I was younger. And I remember I went to one where dude, the real garbage. They put change in the Easter egg. That's a garbage move, right?
Yeah, that seems like a weapon. Like you're about to beat somebody's ass.
It wasn't a consistent amount of change. Like what I think was happening was they were pulling it like out of a change jar and just going like, whoop. So like I would have one that had like 52 cents and one that had like 19 cents.
They're like, here's what you do. You put it in a sock.
Yeah.
You fucking whip it around and then you just beat the shit out of each other with it.
Real fucked up, dude.
Yeah, that is. I've never experienced that in my life.
What kind of stuff are you guys putting in the eggs?
Oh, we had the bullshit normal fuck it Cadbury eggs and like those Peeps.
What's the story, by the way, of the what's the pagan element of Easter? I don't know the pagan element of Easter.
That's just a celebration of fertility and spring. Things are born, plants are blossoming.
Yeah.
It's just a celebration of fertility. That's all it is.
I like fertility, except for the scent. I imagine there's a scent to fertility that
bunny fucking? Have you ever been to somebody's house who has bunnies? They smell like shit.
Is that what the part that smells is all their fertility?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're a stinky animal, so I can't imagine it smells good when they're working up a sweat fucking.
I kind of feel that way about cats. Cats are like a weird, glandy animal.
Dogs are the only animals that don't stink up a house.
They don't have that like glandy thing going on. You know, cats are always like rubbing their face, and you're like, "Oh, it's It's like, nah, it's marking its territory.
It's expressing its glands.
It's like, ugh,
or expressing or expressing. I don't know.
But also, dogs. Also, they'll violate the prophet's code. So for me,
what code?
Of no dogs. Prophet loved cats. So if you like cats, just kind of know what group.
But he probably didn't think that people were going to have them in their home.
Cats?
They probably were stray, right?
Yeah, but I think back in those days, the reason why he got into it was because he would put a bowl of water or whatever, and the same cat would come and drink from it, and he liked it a lot. To me, it just says a lot about the religion. You take whatever you want to take from that conclusion. If you love cat people, then great, you'll love Islam.
Right.
If you love dogs, then maybe I don't think Islam is for you.
What religion is the dog religion?
I don't know. Christianity hasn't claimed to be the dog religion, but you guys kind of are.
Yeah, it feels like we are.
You taught all of us how to love dogs. Like when Christianity went to Korea, if you look at Korea now, like every picture you see of South Korea, somebody's holding a dog, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We exported our sort of dog thing.
Jesus was into lambs, though.
Without
that was his thing, which I've heard most accurate pussy. I could talk about Jesus.
What? No. How could you have heard that it's where did you hear this?
Probably some movie or something.
I feel like if you're going to say something like that, be ready with the
follow-up?
The follow-up.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this.
I'm telling you this for the rest of your life. Like, don't bring this up in a job interview.
A lamb is a sheep, right?
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I've heard a lot of jokes about the Welsh because I'm Welsh, and a lot of jokes about fucking the sheep, like they call them sheep fuckers and stuff about the Welsh. And I think through that conversation with my friend Miles Lloyd, comedian from Wales, pretty sure he's the one who told me that like he's like they call us sheep fuckers, but like it's probably the best non-human vagina.
Yeah, okay.
But that's maybe him just trying to own the abuse. Sure. That might just be that.
Listen, I'll take that. I will. Just a guy saying it. I'll take it.
That's most of my information.
It's just some guy.
Some guy said it.
Yeah.
Mostly Jesus is that guy, though.
And that's kind of the beauty of Easter.
He never talked about dogs. A lot of paintings of him holding lambs, though.
Yeah.
I mean, a lamb must be a cute little animal to have.
Dogs seem, to me, Christian. Their positivity, they seem Protestant to me, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, you think about the guys named Dog the Bounty Hunter, very Christian.
Yeah.
That guy's very Christian. What other religion could that guy be?
Unwavering, I think, positivity, like no sense of guilt in many dogs. I mean, if they have it, it's temporary.
I feel like those like mulleted Southern Christians, those are our like Houthis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whenever we watch like whenever we watch videos of the Houthis and they're wearing like the blazer over their dress or whatever, and they like look super rural and super like kind of checked out. I feel like I would love to show them videos of people in Florida and they'd be like, look at these fucking pigs they have, or these Christian pigs.
I mean, that's, there's plenty of trash in America. Let's be honest. Let me be real with you.
Yeah.
There's lots of disgusting shit out here in America.
I would believe it. It's an amoral society.
I was just reading
An immodest, amoral society.
I was reading, I think today that there's been a giant increase in the statistical probability of getting killed while driving by a gunman who's also driving. So you do have to call out. If we trash the Middle East for doing what the Middle East does, I think we also have to call out the fact that in America, I guess people
are just shooting and driving,
just shooting each other for likely driving offense, not
right.
I don't feel it's like always a revenge killing. It's not because somebody fucked somebody else's daughter. It's not.
Right. It's just random. Just
yeehaw. It's some random
yeehaw crimes. That's the file. It's filed under
yeehaw crimes.
You go through the yeehaw files. They're the biggest file cabinet in the fucking police department. How shocked were you? I don't know if you were at all. I was rather shocked when I found out that New York subway shooter was in his 60s.
Ooh. I not only was that a shocking thing, but I didn't realize he was in his 60s.
He's born in the 50s, dude.
And did they determine any particular cause for why he did that? By the way, you're referring to the Brooklyn subway shooter.
Yeah. When I heard the antics that were going on, where there was like gas bombs and gas masks and running,
that's white kid stuff.
Not only is it white kids, but that guy was in his 60s and very fat.
Yeah.
It just seemed like I wouldn't have pegged him as a threat.
I also want to shout out to the Arab dude who caught him. The Arab dude who recognized him.
He was fired up.
He was ready for that. He was
ready for the mic. Get it, everybody here, all the channels here.
Yeah, he was.
I don't want to do this twice.
I mean, he was. And by the way, he would have loved to have done it twice.
Yeah, you're right.
From a different angle, he was
You
fucking
need another take,
glowing on camera. Yeah. And I'll say this, even for 9/11.
Yeah,
I think from my standpoint, as I look at it from objective standpoint, I go 9/11 happened. We did that.
Our bad. Right.
Listen, I have to just at some point be honest with myself. We did that.
Right.
And so now I look at this guy who killed one person or two people.
I don't know if anybody. Last time I checked, nobody died.
This guy who severely injured several people.
Somebody's retina was detached or something.
This guy who scared several people. No, he scared a lot of people. He scared a lot of people.
Yeah.
Arab caught him.
There we go. Tit for tat.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Bryan, on behalf of America.
You know what? I didn't like the spit stuff.
I'm going to get COVID. I'm never going to get COVID. I don't think I'm going to get it.
No, you won't get it. And if you do get it by now, it'll be so mild.
Do you know what I blame it on? When I hard boil eggs, they always float.
So the floating eggs.
Yeah, you know how they say
some, like brujeria shit.
Do you know how they say that floating eggs are bad? Like if you put an egg in water and it floats, it's bad. Like
Really?
You're not supposed to eat it. I've only eaten eggs that floated.
I've never heard that. Do you hard boil eggs a lot?
I mean, you probably. I'm sure I've been getting comments, and the listeners probably realizing that I'm getting fucking ripped right now. But,
yeah.
You know, when I'm hitting the gym hard.
Yeah.
Trying to lift some weights. And
so you're doing more than the sauna?
Well, yeah.
Do you consider hard-boiled eggs like an exercise?
I'm eating the egg in the sauna, bro. So I'm hard-boiling the egg in the sauna, actually. I just put the egg in with all the rocks.
You bring a pot and you put it over the hot rocks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Somebody's pouring water. Hey, whoa, be careful of my eggs there, buddy. I'm making lunch.
Oh, dude, a nice 19-minute cooking there. Ooh, it comes out soft boil.
I have one of those pork chop on there.
I have one of those little egg dishes.
Yes.
I'm sitting
the tiny spoon. You're tapping it with the tiny spoon. Bring a little blender in there. Maybe devil the egg.
It could be good.
Yeah, it could be good.
Yeah, I have a little ham. I fuck with this. I'm gonna do this tomorrow.
Dude, I think that you ever heard like people are like, it takes more energy to eat cantaloupe than it does it burns more calories eating cantaloupe than you ingest.
Is it? I think it's celery. I don't think it's cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is super
they say about some melon that they say that about.
All right, we'll look it up during the break.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I think it's celery.
Yeah, takes more energy to eat celery
Than
than
it
provides or whatever.
That's again tow truck driver kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any verification on that whatsoever.
But eating anything in the sauna, I would imagine that does apply.
It's so fucking good, dude. Yeah.
You could eat a fucking donut in the sauna. It burns more energy eating that.
I've been eating a lot of those, those big ass fucking, like, everything is now like a brownie, protein brownie, or like those, like, I've been eating a bunch of those and being like, I guess I'm going to be shredded pretty soon.
My girlfriend makes quote unquote cookie dough out of like protein and cacao nibs and stuff. And I'm like, if it can't be baked into some kind of cookie or brownie, then it's not dough.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is it's never really the consistency of anything. Like, you take a bite into it, it's like kind of soft, but kind of firm.
It's got a weird chewiness to it.
Haven't shit in maybe 3 weeks. I don't think I've shit in 3 weeks. I've not had a vegetable.
So are you eating a lot of like Quest bars and shit like that?
Quest bars, a lot of protein stuff,
Yeah.
Just trying to get, I don't even know what it does. I see the guys doing it. And I'm like, well, I guess this is what we do.
Yeah, and you're like, so this has a certain amount of fiber. So that's another stat I don't believe. They just tell you like fiber cancels out
sugar.
I
know all bro science, and it's all invalid, dude. It doesn't matter. It's like, listen, does your dad have abs? Then there you go, buddy. Move on. It's that simple.
My dad is jacked everywhere but the abs. My dad has Vladimir Putin's body.
Yeah.
Big pecs, big arms, big legs. Just masculine looking.
My dad's got, believe it or not, a fairly like if you saw my dad, you wouldn't go like he's jacked. But if I told you he was 72 and you saw him, you'd go like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, he's looking good.
He looks like he's 61. He looks easily 10 years younger.
That's nice.
So that's a good one.
Beard? Does he have a beard?
Yeah. No mustache.
No mustache.
Because
just a bottom beard?
That's how the Prophet did it.
Yeah. Wow.
One of the Sunnis of the Prophet is that you this is like when I go, hey, I grew up Muslim, and I didn't grow up Muslim the way a lot of these motherfuckers grew up Muslim. A lot of these motherfuckers grew up with like a dad who like went to 49ers games or whatever, and just happened to be my dad was like wearing his beard the way the Prophet wore it.
So is this rebellious what you're doing right now? This anti-prophet facial hair situation?
This is anti-prophet facial hair, no doubt about it.
It's a reverse prophet.
I'm more Arab than I am Muslim, and this is an ode to the Arabs. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
In the Middle East, you're a man when you can grow a mustache.
Sure.
In the Arab world, but then you're like a wise man when you get rid of the mustache and just have the beard.
Are you going to transition to that at some point?
40, 41. Y'all ain't even going to see me without a skull cap on.
Sick, dude.
Skull cap, always a little Quran underneath right here.
No matter how Christian I got, there's no outfit like that.
You're right. There's no fun Christian. Like you either have to go Orthodox.
Like Ned Flanders is like a jihadist Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how he dresses.
You either have to dress like Ned Flanders or the Undertaker. Like you have to be wearing like a big black coat with like a weird hat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sick. But I think at that point though, like you are a cleric, a priest of some sort.
Yeah, so you're in.
Yeah. But I mean, like you can really look Muslim without having a role, without being an imam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Before we roll to the Patreon, we'll just watch this in the Patreon. Did you see the video that somebody sent us a video of a German? He sent us a video of a German-speaking imam giving a sermon in German.
No, I haven't seen that.
And it is, I mean, to me, it's one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my entire life.
It sounds like it's going to sound a little familiar to Germans.
It is. I'm telling you, it is. And I'll be honest with you, probably some of the themes that were hit
That's
were
what
probably
I'm saying.
similar.
That's what I'm saying.
I think a lot of Germans are going to realize that Islam maybe is more of a religion for them than they think it is.
Should we check out that Will Smith take too from that other imam?
Yeah,
the Will Smith Chris Rock take?
We'll definitely do that on the Patreon. Let's go ahead and flip over to Patreon. We've been recording for about an hour. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Join us on Patreon for more show. We do literally 100% more show, exclusive available. I'm sorry, I was going to say available exclusively on the Patreon. Follow the show on all social media platforms. Blah, 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 blah. Bryan, do you have anything to plug to these people before we get out of here?
Just go to Mr. Bryan Vokey on Instagram. Tons of gigs.
All right. On behalf of me, Bryan, and everybody. Ooh, by the way, big announcement on the Patreon. On behalf of me, Bryan, and everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, including Joni, the dog, peace be unto the prophet.
Long live Tyler.